Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fabric Tech Talk Fridays. I'm your host, Patrick LeBlanc, and I'm here today with Gregor. Gregor, before we get started, tell the people who you are and what you do.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm Gregor Brunner. I'm the CEO of Measure Killer, and we built a really cool tool for Power BI.
All right. So, Gregor, I design a lot of semantic models. I design a lot of reports. And the challenge is through the iterations, I find myself creating lots of measures, importing a lot of columns that I don't need. But I hear you got a way for me to clean my models up.
Yeah, so generally it's a problem. We don't really know what we're using all across the report pages and this kind of stuff.
Yep.
So I can run Measure Killer on my local machine or online, but we're just gonna run it now here on Power BI desktop. And what it does, it connects to that model, and then I can run it to get a really cool analysis of all my columns and measures.
Wow.
So I can see immediately if something is used or not.
So it not only will it take a look at my measures, but it will also look at columns. So if I've designed this huge model that's connecting to all these tables and different data sources, I can quickly identify what I need and what I don't need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So it for every column and measure that is used, it's showing you where exactly it's used. So if you don't know the tool yet, you don't know if you want to trust it, you can even check and validate
Wow.
and see, okay, it's used on this page in this visual, and double check before you go the next step.
Yeah. So how would I walk through this process of getting rid of measures and columns?
Right. So initially, we sort here by the size because that's the most interesting.
Yeah.
We want
Yeah.
to see the big ones, if they're used.
Yep.
And we have different ways to remove stuff. So actually, some people even want to only hide the unused
Okay.
links. So
Okay.
there's
Okay.
an option for
They
that
want to be
too.
really careful.
Yeah.
They want to be really.
First step, hide, then kill.
Yeah.
For all the DAX artifacts, all the measures, all the calculated columns, we can write to the model directly
Okay.
using this kill button, or we can create a C# script to remove those.
And so this is the measure that's not being
Exactly.
referenced or used by anything,
Exactly.
right? And so I can
Right.
quickly get it removed. All right.
You can click on kill here. It will be gone immediately. For the Power Query columns,
Yeah.
those are a little more tricky. What we do here is we take the previous M code that you had in that query, and then we add a step at the end, and I can show you how that works. So I'm going to copy this, go into Power BI, Power Query, and now I paste it into that query, into the advanced editor.
Yep.
And then you can see that it adds a step at the end. I hit done. And now it only selects the columns.
So it removes the ones that I don't need. But I see the little gear there, and I like that because it's using choose columns, and it's not saying remove column, remove column, remove column. So if I need to add them back, I can easily go and
Exactly.
those back.
That's the beauty of the remove other columns
Yeah.
function. You can actually, first of all, if you just say, okay, I want to go back to where I was, you can just take out the step completely,
Sure.
or like I said, okay,
And add a column that I
add
want.
that one later.
Yep. But this seems, I'm just going to admit, I'm not lazy. I'm just really efficient. This seems a little tedious. I would have to do this over and over. There's got to be an easier way. Because what if there are multiple tables that I need to remove columns from?
It's a lot of work,
Yeah.
and we like to be lazy and efficient.
Yeah.
So the best way, or my preferred way to clean up stuff is to export the clean Tyndall code.
Yeah.
So I go here, I copy it to my clipboard. So now it's saved, and now I go into Tyndall view in Power BI Desktop, and well, this is more risky stuff.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Because I'm removing stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're removing everything that
Yeah.
is unused.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe something could go wrong. I mean, it's very accurate, the tool, but 1 out of 1,000 or 2,000 times you might break stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take the current model and I'm gonna save this script, basically how my current model is right now, as a backup. And now here I'm gonna do reduce the small model,
And so this is
same one.
with everything removed, all the unnecessary columns, the columns that aren't being used from everything, not just the DAX, but also across the reports and the visuals. It's all everything
checks
removed.
everything.
So you took a backup first, like we should do, because if I break something, I can restore, and now you're going to remove everything, right?
Exactly.
Mhm.
Even if a whole table is unused, it will remove that table.
Wow.
So
Wow.
but we're careful, right? So we want to first see what's going to happen. So here in the preview section, it will show me all the code, basically, or it's the metadata of the
Yeah.
model that we'll take out.
Yep.
And then I can say, okay, boom, apply, and then
And so it's doing a comparison of what it was before and what it is now, and it's showing you the diff between what is going to change, actually what is going to remove. It's
Right.
pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive.
thanks,
And so I've cleaned my model up, and I deployed my model out to the world, and I've created several reports against it. And now I want to change something. I want to remove a column. I want to change some DAX. I want to change a measure because I like to write DAX in my free time when I'm just hanging out on my porch out back. But before I change this DAX, I need to make sure that it doesn't break anything. How can I do that with the measure killer?
yes, because
Yep.
normally we're struggling, right? We have an idea of where measure is used, but we don't really know.
Yep.
So we can go in here, and first of all, we can see where the measure is used. But what if the measure is used in other measures, and then those measures are used in visual?
Yeah.
It's more complicated.
Yeah.
So I can right-click and go to this View Dependencies and view all impacted items.
Wow.
And then I can see everything that is either directly impacted, so that would be the ones with the zeros,
Yeah.
or indirectly through other measures, and then that is used in a visual. So
Wow.
that gives you the full picture.
So it gives me like a lineage change, an impact of if I change this measure, you're gonna break some stuff.
Those pages in those reports, you might break stuff.
Wow. Wow. Okay. How do I get this? Tell me, how do I get the measure killer and use it? It's an external tool, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
actually, you can get it in the Microsoft Store if I type correctly. So you can just download it from there, or you can get it from our website, measurekiller.com,
Yep.
and just install it and run it on your machine, and yeah, it will help you a
There
little
you
bit.
go. All right, Gregor. Thank you so much for hanging out. And thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, comments, you know what to do. Post it in the comments below. If this is your first time here hanging out with us, be sure to subscribe to Fabric Tech Talk Fridays. And as always, thanks to Gregor and myself, and we'll see you next Friday.
Thank you everyone for watching. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to hit that like button.
If this is your first time visiting the Microsoft Fabric YouTube channel, be sure to smash that subscribe button.
Drop a comment below on what you would like to see on the future episodes of Fabric Tech Talk Fridays.
That's it for today. See you all next Friday for another deep dive in the Microsoft Fabric.